Partly cloudy with a low around 66, and Thursday sunny with a high around 87. He's greedy, he's grumpy, he's horrid. The enormous crocodile slithers onto the stage in the U.S. premiere of this smash UK hit at Children's Theatre Company. From jungle creatures to outer space adventures and a wild dance party, you won't want to miss the enormous crocodile. Running October 1st through November 23rd. Tickets at childrenstheatre.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. Welcome to The Gailey Show, the only daily LGBTQ radio news and talk show in the United States. I'm your host, John Parker, joined in studio today by my executive producer, Jim Pounds.
Hey, all.
All right, what is on the show today? Jane Goodall, renowned for her groundbreaking research into chimpanzees, as well as an ardent environmental activist, has passed away. We're going to reflect on her legacy in the second half hour. Also, the government has shut down. So we're going to talk about the impacts of that and how your health insurance premiums are on the line. But up first, Austene Van is the executive artistic director of Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo, Minnesota. A local and national theater professional for 30 years, Austene is acclaimed as a gifted, quietly powerful, and innovative actor, director, and choreographer. Austene was a 2013-2014 McKnight Fellowship Award winner, and she won an Ivy Award for the Guthrie Theater's Trouble in Mind. She directed Annie at the Ordway Music Theater, which went on to win Best Play in City Page's Best of 2018. She has performed as an actor at the Guthrie Theater, Penumbra Theater, Indiana Rep, Cleveland Playhouse, the Ordway. Austene's work as an actor, director, and executive artistic director reflects her advocacy for social justice, equity, and equality. She joins us now. Hello, Austene. Welcome to The Gailey Show.
Hi. Thank you for having me, John and Jim.
Okay, so Yellow Tree Theater has Misery on stage now, but before we get into that, because I want to talk all about that, there is this full frontal assault on the arts by the current MAGA administration, taking over the Kennedy Center, revoking federal funding for theaters across the U.S. I mean, I was just talking to a friend last week in Ohio, also an artistic director. They just had $1.5 million yanked in a federal grant. What has been your reaction to this? And then I want to ask you your thoughts about how we can move forward as a larger artistic community.
Thank you. That's a great question. I think my initial reaction right after the election, I knew that we were going to get hit. Entertainment, arts were going to get hit. One of the areas that are going to get hit first, because theater, arts, music, fine arts are powerful. Mm-hmm. And the folks in that administration are entertainers, so they know the reach. They know that a lot of us don't, for whatever reasons, and we have to really look at why not a lot of us are going out to achieve higher education. But that's not what is happening. And not a lot of people are opening books to read. Not a lot of people are going to functions and conferences and taking courses to understand what's happening in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our nations. And history is getting erased so that we can continue to make some strange mistakes that will benefit those in the 1%. So we knew it was coming because we're strong, we're powerful. We promote healing and change, and we provoke thought and activity. And you're going to roll up your sleeves. You're going to, you're going to make sure that you do something, because you can't unlearn what you've learned, and we've got we're privileged. It is a privilege to be able to reach into hearts and make people think about other humans. Think about where they're coming from, sharing the same experiences, the same humanity, but maybe through a different lens is powerful when people get to talking. So that this was definitely a device and tools to make sure that we remain in the dark and ignorant, and that we can't put information and education within the vehicle of art It's on purpose. I just didn't really think about the retraction of our funding, especially being here in Minnesota. The arts have been historically funded and supported. We've had 300 theaters here in Minnesota.
Mhm.
After COVID, it went down to 150. But we do art here. This is what we do here. So it happened immediately, where we were informed and experiencing funding getting pulled, retracted, reduced because of who we are. And that's what I want to say about that. That's who we are as a community of artists all around the world. We start off as diverse peoples that want to practice equity and include everyone. So the ask of us to not say anything about who we are so that we can get money, you're buying our silence. That's fascinating. You're buying our death, really. You want us to die as queer folk, as people of color, as women. You want us to die so that you feel better. That's insane to me. But we'll pay you to make sure that you go back in a closet. That's insane. And it felt, I remember, frankly, crying when one of the first things was the Kennedy Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
That takeover, when it's happening, and then to not be able to write in a grant or to have on your website that we are queer, we are gay, we're LGBTQIA, we're Black, we're Asian, we're Latin, we're women. We can't say you're gonna buy us. Interesting. That's interesting. That one that you don't think that artists are poor enough. I mean, if we were to, you know what I'm saying? If we were doing this for the money, that'd be a whole different thing. But not a lot of us get into this for the money. We get into this because we have to, because we're drawn to, because we're inspired to touch people, to heal people, to transform people. So just understanding, just watching and experiencing, witnessing that these folks think that we can be bought is an interesting point of view. And now we see where they really live, what's really important to them, and their identity is wrapped up in their materials and their things instead of their humanity and their heart. We know a lot of folks are going against what they really, really believe, but they're going to do it anyway. So it's been devastating for us. I'm where Yellow Tree is, and why I was super excited about being there is because it's a suburb of the Twin Cities, and it's actually diverse. My little bitty pocket, though, is red, like bright red. My little bitty pocket, and my board is diverse. My staff is diverse. So we got some threats and some people leaving. Not only the audience, but a couple of board members after I was selected left as well. And come to find out, some of our patrons and longtime donors who are no longer with us left because I'm a Black person.
Wow.
It's nothing about our programming, because it's the same programming that Yellow Tree was founded by Jason and Jessica Peterson. They're just wonderful folks, but they were kind of in the closet about what they really do. They just did it, you know, and they didn't have to say, you know, we're diverse and we're equitable and we include everyone. They just said everyone's welcome. And that's what they practiced. And that's why I felt comfortable being there even before I was on as artistic director.
Right.
So I knew that, you know, with leadership, things are going to change, but and being in the skin, walking in the skin, since I was born, I'm used to microaggressions. Unfortunately, that's a norm for me. I'm used to aggressions. I'm used to people trying to put their hands on me because they don't think that I have a right to have my own body and mind. So I'm used to fighting that. I practice social martial arts. I just did not think that people would want to see Yellow Tree suffer because I'm a Black person. The staff, the audiences, because I'm a Black person. And what I was saying about the programming, it's the same programming that Jason and Jessica do. I remember having a woman, I produced Billie Holiday at Emerson Bar and Grill with a fabulous Thomasina. And I literally had a woman call. She took her time to call in to ask us, is this about racism? Because I just can't. And I thought, of all the things, that was, you know what I mean? That's Billie Holiday's story. That was a part of her life. Racism was a part of her life. You can't get around that. 1958. Right. But this woman was trafficked. She was pimped. She was coerced into taking drugs. She was abused. Those things I would have issue with for sure. That's hard to see. But the fact that she dealt with racism, that's your hill. That was fascinating to me. And it helped me understand, oh, this is where I actually live right here in this space where people would rather see someone physically hurt than know that they are dealing with oppression.
Wow.
We are talking with the artistic director of Yellow Tree Theater, Austene Vam. Oh, Austene, I've got so many questions.
Yes, you have no answers.
I'm going to have to fit in a break here. When we come back from that break, however, I do want to talk about the production that you currently are staging at Yellow Tree Theater, which is Misery, which is a particular favorite movie of mine for this time of year. So we're going to fit in that break. Before we do, I want to share about our travel partner, Travel Marquette. And the reason why is that Marquette, Michigan has become a very special place for me. For the past decade, I have been going to Marquette every single year, which is why I'm so grateful for this partnership with them. And part of the reason is I don't have to worry about traveling while queer because it is a university town and a super blue city and a reliably blue county with a very active pride organization. Marquette has so many things that I need from a long weekend getaway, rather. Good restaurants, excellent bookstores, relaxing hiking and time out in nature. You can attend the Fresh Coast Film Festival, October 16th through the 19th. I will be there that weekend. You can join Upper Peninsula Rainbow Pride for the Fall Colors Pride Hike on October 12th. Get your adventure started at travelmarquette.com. That's travelmarquette.com. More on The Gailey Show after this break. This October, let your imagination and heart return to the movie theaters for the 6th annual Flip the Script Queer Film Festival. 9 days of groundbreaking animated, documentary, short, and feature-length films that push the boundaries of love, family, and relationships. This fall, let's watch the unexpected. October 3rd through the 11th at Film North in St. Paul. Digital passes available. Tickets on sale September 5th at flipthescriptfest.org.
History Theater's new season opens with a celebration of one of Minnesota's own. Don't miss Doris Hines. Now through October 12th in St. Paul, experience a vibrant tribute blending live jazz, powerful storytelling, and the life of Doris Hines, mother, performer, and icon. With dynamic music and a stellar cast, this world premiere spans local stages and global reach. Discounts are available for students, seniors, and veterans. Don't miss this unforgettable premiere. Find details now at historytheater.com.
Hi, this is Laura with Food Freedom Radio, and I invite you to discover 2 local grocery stores with a global fare. Market Fresh, south of Rosedale, carries fresh vegetables, quality meats, seafood, and a wide variety of grocery staples, all in a welcoming store. Shanghai Wholesale Market is in the St. Paul Midway area, and it's a food warehouse open to the public. Shanghai Wholesale carries more than 500 types of noodles. And frankly, it's time for Minnesotans to learn that pasta is a little bit more than spaghetti noodles and tuna casserole. There's sweet potato, bean, rice, fresh, frozen, rye. It's a paradise for those seeking gluten-free pasta. Also, both Market Fresh and Shanghai Wholesale Market seek to buy local, so you can look for local quail eggs, unique cheeses, and Minnesota-made tofu. Open the door to food abundance. Discover Market Fresh, your local Asian food store just south of Rosedale, and Shanghai Wholesale Market, your local international food warehouse north of Menards in the St. Paul Midway area.
At Schroman Law, we provide more than just legal documents. We walk alongside our clients to ensure their wishes and legacies are being honored with every choice. And we do this while recognizing that this process can be emotional and weighty. Our team includes attorneys, as well as a grief coach and a published writer ready to assist with legacy letters and extra wishes to go alongside your healthcare directive. Contact us today to learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
The Minneapolis Institute of Art invites you to experience Gatsby at 100, exploring how F. Scott Fitzgerald's novel, The Great Gatsby, both shaped and was shaped by the visual art of its time. This exhibition brings together works from Mia's collection that embody the decadence, excess, and social upheaval of Fitzgerald's most famous novel, highlighting paintings, books, and works on paper that are rarely on view. Come see it at Mia, always free and open to everyone. Learn more at artsmia.org.
Welcome back to the Gailey Show. I am John Parker. We're coming up on the bottom of the hour. I'm joined in studio by my executive producer, Jim Pounds. Misery is currently playing at Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo, Minnesota. Yellow Tree Theater's executive artistic director, Austene Van, is our guest right now. Austene, Misery. I hear it's a very popular production of Yellow Tree. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's amazing. And okay, just for those who are spooky, it is a thriller for sure. But what I loved about it, and I remember the movie, you guys remember the movie, Kathy Bates is one of my favorites. I didn't know it was a play until a couple of years ago. And I read it, and it was just, for me, it was better than the movie.
Oh,
because it helps to reveal how Annie is not balanced. Yes, she does atrocious things, but in this day and age when people are doing atrocious things, yes, it's wonderful to examine why she is off kilter. What's happening with her, and why does she believe so vehemently what she believes? She will die for what she believes. And to her, it makes a whole lot of sense. It's divine what's happening right now, even though she's making certain things happen. But what I love about it, besides it being a thriller, there's no blood, you guys, so don't worry about that. But it's expertly directed by John Catron, featuring Laura Esping, who's one of the baddest actors on legs. She's amazing. Dustin Bronson does a beautiful job. And then Chance plays Buster. So it's just three, of course, in the play. Beautifully, the set is beautifully designed. Sound design is great in the costumes, all of that. What I love so much is her revelation. You get to come and see someone you may actually relate to a little bit in Annie, which is going to be very, very scary. If we can look at her and go, oh my gosh, it's only because I get out and see people that I'm not Annie Wilkes. You know, maybe
It's that close.
It's this close, you know, especially nowadays when people are on their heels, you know, trying to hurt people over nail polish. It's just crazy. But we can look at folks and say, well, that's crazy. Instead of examining, well, these are the building blocks to someone who may not be okay. Right. So at the end of this thing, oh, you guys, at the end of this thing, people are going to be so confused. We opened on Friday and they were like, I didn't know whether to hug her or to run. I didn't know what to do. But Laura's that good. But the direction was very clear. She cannot, though she is the villain, she can't be the villain, and no one's just evil because they're evil, right? There's all of these elements that go along to make the framework of someone that's not okay for public.
Right.
It's Misery. It is playing at Yellow Tree Theater through October 19th. You can get your tickets at yellowtreetheater.com. We're already coming up almost on our time, but I wanted to ask you, Austene, because of what we were talking about, to kind of revisit that conversation before the break and the breadth of your career over 30 years. Can you talk about, because we're always seeming to talk about this lately over the past 10 months, about resistance. Can you talk to us about the theater as a unique arena to resist the moment that we're living through right now?
Absolutely. I was grown up. I've grown up at Penumbra Theater, where we do art for social justice. So I didn't know better. I thought that's what we do. We do art to heal people and to provoke change. It's no different for me, no matter where I go. If I'm directing at the Guthrie, or if I'm directing at Oslo, or at the IRT, it doesn't matter to me. My mission is still the same: to reveal, to try to get people to see each other, to try to get people to see the human condition. And with at Yellow Tree, because it's so small, we're so tiny. Everyone on board, including our board and our staff, we are on the same page as far as the mission is concerned, to welcome people, to support people. Our people. And when I say people, you guys know who I'm talking about, but I'll just say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying people, but it's very specific. I'm supporting all of us.
Yep.
All of us, where a lot of us are left out of the equation. Yep. So it's not discriminatory. I'm not discriminating. I'm saying I'm including all of us, playwrights that are LGBTQIA, people of color, women, and our stage has to look like that too. The board has to look like that too. Our staff has to look like that too. We have to see a micro model of what America is. America is all of us, and we wouldn't be America without all of us. So that has to be represented where I am at all times. Right. You know, those days are hard for me, that I'm remembering when I was the first Black blah, blah, blah. First Black da-da-da to direct at the blah, blah, blah. The first Black da-da-da to direct at the da-da-da. The first Black female to do this particular role. Right. That should never be. I shouldn't be the first of anything ever anymore. And I remember being the first to direct a big show at a big place in 2017. And I was like, how is this? We should be everywhere. It's got to be normalized. It can't be. People don't know what to do with us, you all. When they're in our presence and we're leading. Right. So we have to be present so people get used to seeing us. It's just a normal everyday thing. And you know how to communicate with us, and everyone's different. So, you know, we're not a monolith, but making sure that people have skills to be able to talk to people from different backgrounds is fun, but necessary. Yes.
Right.
And so that's one of the reasons why I am excited about being at Yellow Tree, so people can see us, and that we're just people, and we're people that want to do good, and we're people that want to bring good, and people that want to have conversation with everyone, and also, you know, give to the community in many different ways, like feed them, clothe them, you know, make sure that they're okay. Psychologically. So we offer certain, like we offer pamphlets that are like betterhelp.com, just in case people are triggered. You know, just take care. We can take care, feed the people, clothe the people. We can do that. And so that's where I stand. And until I'm run out on a rail, I'm going to continue to do that. It's my little platform. It's not as big as the Guthrie. It's not as big as the Ordway. It's not even as big as the Jungle. The Jungle's big. You know, it's a wonderful theater, but we're so small. There's less red tape.
This is why we're so lucky to have you, Austene Van, as the Executive Artistic Director at Yellow Tree Theater. Currently on stage, there is the play Misery. You can get your tickets at yellowtreetheater.com. It runs through October 19th. Do not wait on this, yellowtreetheater.com. Thank you, Austene, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, you guys. Have a beautiful day.
You too. We're going to take a break. More on The Gailey Show on AM 950 KTNF and WCPT 820 when we come back. This October, let your imagination and heart return to the movie theaters for the 6th annual Flip the Script Queer Film Festival. 9 days of groundbreaking animated, documentary, short, and feature-length films that push the boundaries of love, family, and relationships. This fall, let's watch the unexpected. October 3rd through the 11th at Film North in St. Paul. Digital passes available. Tickets on sale September 5th at flipthescriptfest.org.
Hello, Minnesota. This is Tom Hartman, and you can catch me every weekday from 11 to 2 right here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. It's smart radio for smart people.
Hello, my name is Paul Sheldon. I'm a novelist. My #1 superfan, Annie Wilkes, has me trapped in her house. I need you to come to the Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo, September 26th to October 4th to get me out. yellowtreetheater.com. It's Misery. Please don't come alone. Hurry, she's coming.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. We have families waiting for a car. You know, over 85% of unemployed are successful in finding and keeping a job if they have dependable transportation. A car plus a job equals a life changed. 612-919-5526. We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
Hey friends, this is John Parker from The Gailey Show. When I travel, I want to go somewhere where I can unwind, get back to nature like with waterfalls and hiking, enjoy some classic downtown shopping with good restaurants, and also just be myself as a queer person without worries. That's why twice a year for the past 10 years, I've been visiting Michigan's Marquette County. This fall, join me and head up to the Fresh Coast. Visit travelmarquette.com to start your journey.
He's greedy. He's scrumptious. He's horrid. Roald Dahl's The Enormous Crocodile the Musical is weaving its way onto the stage at Children's Theater Company beginning October 1st, featuring eye-popping puppets, a rich score with great groove, and plenty of mischievous audience interaction. Don't miss the U.S. premiere of the smash UK hit. Get your tickets for The Enormous Crocodile the Musical today at childrenstheater.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for sunny skies today with a high near 84, tonight partly cloudy with a low around 66, and Thursday sunny with a high around 87. Head to Cafe Latte's Pizza and Wine Bar featuring a full menu of gourmet pizzas and more than 30 wines by the glass. It's casual, cozy, and seriously delicious. Off Victoria and Grand in St. Paul. Reserve or order now at cafelatte.com. That's cafelatte.com.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Coming to you from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk where facts matter. Welcome back to The Gailey Show. I'm your host, John Parker. My executive producer, Jim Pounds, is here with me in the studio. It is 33 minutes after the hour. For those on AM 950 who just heard the commercial promo for Misery at Yellow Tree Theater, that show runs through October 19th.
Yes.
So extended, but it said it doesn't close this weekend. It runs through October 19th, and it was so great to have Austene joining us.
I think we're going to give away some tickets at some point on this show, yeah?
Are we giving away tickets right now?
Well, I'd love to. May we give away a pair?
I'm not in charge of this.
All right, then.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's
not my show anymore.
Austene mentioned all the reasons you should see it, but it is running through the 19th. But I think what they'd like us to do with this free pair of tickets is to either use it this weekend Wednesday through Sunday, or next weekend, Wednesday through Sunday, but not the final weekend. Yeah. So weekends 2 and 3, we'll say. So we have a pair, and let's take the second caller and the phone number, John, you can read it.
952-946-6205. 952-946-6205 for a free pair of tickets to see Misery at Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo, Minnesota. These tickets are you can redeem them for this weekend or for next weekend. 952-946-6205. The second caller gets a free pair of tickets to see Misery at Yellow Tree Theater.
And I can confirm what Austene said. Dustin Bronson and I did a show together, and he is magnificent. And I know Laura, and she's magnificent. So you can't lose. I promise you.
952-946-6205. Second caller, free pair of tickets to Misery at Yellow Tree Theater.
Okay.
All right. No, I'm stalling because I don't want to talk about this next story. Because I remember in elementary school and junior high and high school having videos and seeing, books of Jane Goodall and learning about all the amazing work that she did with chimpanzees. And I remember being a kid and going, oh, wow, wait, what is going on here? Just to see her very special relationship and everything that she had learned and was sharing, not just, with people in her field, but with the world. She was so great a communicator.
Yeah.
And she has passed away today. She was 91 years old. The Jane Goodall Institute announced the primatologist's death Wednesday on social media. She lived among chimpanzees in Africa. This was a few decades ago now when she was doing her initial research, but she found them, using tools and other activities that were believed to be exclusive to just, Homo sapiens. She was able to just find distinct personalities with them. She communicated with them. It was just, there was this really great quote that she gave to the Associated Press in 2021 that I wanted to read. It said, out there in nature, she said, out there in nature by myself, when you're alone, you can become a part of nature, and your humanity doesn't get in the way. It's almost like an out-of-body experience when suddenly you hear different sounds and you smell different smells, and you're actually part of this amazing tapestry of life. She spent years devoted to education and advocacy on not just the environment, but also a number of humanitarian causes. She was known for her very soft-spoken British accent, and known for balancing, this is in the Associated Press, known for balancing the grim realities of the climate crisis with a sincere message of hope for the future. So it's really, this one's hitting me hard. I don't know why, but it's really sad.
I think of Jane Goodall, the difference between a human being that can love nature that much and see animals as equal to us, and see themselves as part of the natural world, Mother Nature, and all of that, which is kind of how I'm oriented, versus somebody who just sees nature as something to exploit and cut down and experiment on and harvest for meat or whatever. I don't understand how people can't see what I seem to see, but so many issues are like that, right? Where some people just see that bird flying as something to shoot out of the air, as opposed to the graceful, glorious God creation that is. I don't get how we grow up so differently with such vastly uncooperative or impossible to sort of juxtapose those two things, right? I wish more people learn to appreciate animals and nature and the world rather than simply bulldoze it. I don't get that. I really don't understand people like that, truthfully.
She won a Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2025 by President Joe Biden, and she was also a United Nations Messenger of Peace. Had a number of books that she published, including an autobiography that was titled Reason for Hope. Do you have a Jane Goodall story that you would like to share with us here on the show? 952-946-6205, 946-6205. You can call in and share your story of learning about Jane, seeing Jane, reading Jane and her work. We would love to hear those stories that you can share with us. 952-946-6205. All right, so the government is shut down. What happens now? So there was a vote last night in the Senate. I'm also catching up to speed myself. So I thought that, the Republicans, they have control of all branches of government, so they should just be able to pass this budget on their own. Well, it turns out you need 60 votes to pass the budget in the Senate, and the vote last night was 55 to 45 against the budget proposal. There was a vote again today. That vote failed as well in the Senate. I believe the tally was the exact same.
Do you feel like
you have something to say, Jim?
Well, I'm always looking like I have something to say. I feel like I wonder if people understand why we're in this situation. I think my sense is that the Democrats have said, boy, the more people learn about what was in that bill, the tsunami that's coming for them in 2027, the more unhappy they get every single day for a whole raft of reasons why that was terrible legislation. And I think the Democrats are counting on people being so angry that they now start to call their Republican traitor, I would say. And by I mean traitor, I mean to your people, to the people you represent. You sold them down the river for 759 billionaires. And I think they're counting on them getting angry at their Republican representatives to pull back or claw back some of the terrible things they've done to Medicaid, some of the threat particularly to Medicare, which is in this bill, based on a budget law that would require them to take money out of Medicare if they don't counter it with something else. It's very convoluted. But so there's all kinds of threats in this thing, and people in the middle, let's say, are beginning to realize it and get angry about it. And I think the Democrats are trying to take advantage of that and sort of standing their ground and saying, you're going to claw back some of this. We're going to do what we call compromise, which is how this country always worked before. And that's why I think we're in this spot. I never hear anybody talking about that, so I thought I'd mention it.
Representative Mark Pocan, Democrat from Wisconsin, who's also a member of the LGBTQ community, has said on Wednesday in a conference call with the Progressive Change Campaign Committee that Republicans are being disingenuous in their demands now that Democrats support a so-called quote-unquote clean continuing resolution. A continuing resolution, just a fancy way of saying a budget bill. And he was taking it, I'm trying to look at here the reporting from AP News. He is saying that the Republicans used a process that was underhanded earlier in the year where they got the Democrats to pass a continuing resolution in March, but then they used a process to cut $9 billion of foreign aid as well as support for public broadcasting that Congress had already approved. And so he said they're trying to do the same thing over again. On the call, he said, quote, this is not a continuing resolution. I don't want to get lost in process, but if you can't trust the people you're negotiating with, it makes it very hard to have those negotiations. That was Representative Mark Pocan, Democrat from Wisconsin. I don't know how I feel about polling, and I really don't know how I feel about polling from the New York Times Siena. But they are claiming, again, one poll, that most Democrats don't want to see a shutdown. So they said 2/3 of registered voters in a poll last week said that the Democrats should not shut down the government, even if their demands are not met. 47% said the Democrats should refuse to fund the government if their demands were not met. But 9 in 10 Republicans and 6 in 10 independents said that there should not be a forced shutdown. So we'll see how this plays out. I wanted to sort of go through. I was like, okay, well, all right, it's happened. Now what? And so let's see. There's actually quite a bit that still continues to go on, even though we're officially on a shutdown. So FBI investigators, CIA officers, air traffic controllers, and agents operating airport airport, not airpoint, airport checkpoints, they will keep working. Obviously, members of the armed forces will continue working. There are programs that rely on mandatory spending, so Social Security payments will still go out on time. At least that's what they're saying. Those relying on Medicare coverage, you can still see your doctors, and healthcare providers can still be reimbursed. So you can continue using your healthcare if you have Medicare. Veteran healthcare will also continue during the shutdown, and Veteran Affairs medical centers and outpatient clinics will also still be open, and benefits claims will still be processed and delivered. Let's see. You will still get mail. So the U.S. Postal Service is considered necessary, so they will not be affected during the shutdown as well. So they'll keep going. You keep looking like you have something to say.
No, I'm just thinking. I want to make sure that you're doing service journalism, which is helping people know what the effect is, and I'm trying to get people to run to their phones and call Tom Tiffany, the moron in Wisconsin, about, why have you put us in this situation? Because I didn't know what Pocan just said. They're not only not clawing back some of the healthcare stuff that they took away from you, which you don't realize yet because it's not until 2027, but they're also negotiating dishonestly, meaning when they get this thing through, they're going to make more cuts. So, the Republicans, and I'm a former Republican, so I have every right to say this, they are duplicitous and they are fundamentally dishonest to the harm of 80% of the country, at least, maybe 93% of the country, depending on how you calculate it. So I don't blame the Democrats for not, trusting them, because they've proven themselves to be liars and untrustworthy. So, but we're going to have to get this done. We're going to have to make whatever benefit we can. And I admire the Democratic leadership for doing that. And I discredit the Republican leadership for their dishonesty.
Well, and what's on the line that folks don't maybe know about, and you should be telling other folks about this. There are a bunch of subsidies that were passed under the Biden administration for your health care if you are on the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, even though a lot of MAGA folks don't know that. So if your insurance is from the exchange under the Affordable Care Act, there are subsidies that are set to expire. So your health insurance premiums may go up substantially, 10, 15, 20, 25% starting January 1st, unless the government does something about that. So that is one of the main reasons why the Democrats are shutting down the government and not voting to pass the Republicans' bill, because it doesn't include those subsidies anymore. And they don't want our health insurance, if you are on the Affordable Care Act, to go up. And the Republicans apparently have no plan in place to add funding to that. So that is, we talk about working class issues and pocketbook issues. That is just a couple months away, folks. Enrollment starts next month.
Yep.
We're going to keep talking about the shutdown and healthcare when we come back. You are listening to The Gailey Show on AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk. More after this quick break.
Hey, it's Tom. There's a war being waged on clean energy. A bill in Congress could eliminate the 30% federal tax credit for solar by the end of 2025. And once it's gone, it may never come back. Fossil fuel giants and their MAGA friends in Washington want to kill green energy. But you can fight back. Going solar with All Energy Solar isn't just smart, it's a form of resistance. You choose where your money goes, not to utility companies, not to fossil fuel billionaires, but toward clean, renewable power for your home. A system from All Energy Solar works in Minnesota year-round because it runs on sunlight, not heat. So even in the dead of winter, you're generating electricity. And All Energy Solar helps you save with every rebate and incentive available. This is the moment to act. Waiting means risking with this tax credit and giving the upper hand to MAGA Republicans. So get your free consultation today at allenergysolar.com and take back your power.
This is no bedtime story. It's Treasure Island. A thrilling stage adventure packed with sword fights, secrets, and the lure of buried gold. Join young Jim Hawkins and the infamous Long John Silver as they set sail on a journey where trust is tested and danger lurks behind every wave. Live on stage at Children's Theatre Company, September 9th through October 19th. Tickets at childrenstheatre.org.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. October is here, so Halloween is right around the corner. And if you're thinking of having a horror movie marathon with friends, you better make sure your home doesn't look like something out of one of those movies. Don't ghost your carpet this fall. My cleaning heroes at Zero Res can help get all those spooky smells and creepy stains out of your home. Carpet, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, any surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner, with 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. But there's something even scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home, and it's in your air ducts. This month, take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning service. Don't let a missed deal haunt you. Call 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com today and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners that use social media. Do you want an authentic way to connect with people in your life? Something more meaningful. Thousands of people just like you know that when it matters, count on Minuteman Uptown for custom quality digital prints. From Canva creations to self-published books, from business cards to banners and signs, we print everything. Find more information at mpuptown.com. Contact Minuteman Uptown today, and we'll help you connect to what matters.
Welcome back to the Gailey Show. I'm John Parker. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Jim Pounds, my executive producer, is here with me in the studio. Are you one of the 22 million Americans who are currently on the Affordable Care Act at risk of having your health insurance premiums go up on January 1st? That is what is on the table if the Republicans do not allow for those subsidies to continue to fund them in their proposed budget bill. This is the main reason why the Democratic Party is boycotting the bill and why the government has shut down the it's called the Enhanced Premium Tax Credit. I mean, there's all these like fancy things here, but it was authorized under the American Rescue Plan Act. Remember that? We talked about that in Monday's show. We all need to revisit the American Rescue Plan Act. This is one of the last things that is still going from that amazing bill that was basically only going for a year. It cut childhood poverty in half in a matter of 12 months. And then the Biden administration, thanks to, idiots like Larry Summers at Harvard and a former senator from West Virginia, Manchin, who said, we need to get rid of all of this stuff. We need to get rid of it. And so then they dismantled one of the greatest bills for working class people that the Democrats have done in a very long time. They completely dismantled it. But these subsidies from the American Rescue Plan are set to expire at the end of 2025. Enrollment for the ACA starts in November. So if they don't get this sorted out, you'll see not only the premiums go up in January, you'll see when you're enrolling in a month what your expected premiums are going to be if you re-enroll in your Affordable Care Act plan for 2026. And this is really stunning. Well, I mean, it's not stunning, but Senator Schumer, in his meeting with Trump on Monday, he walked out of that and he said to reporters, quote, Trump was not aware that Americans would pay, so many Americans, tens of millions of Americans would pay huge increases in their health care bills. And he was not aware that the real effect of that starts October 1st, not December 31st. So it seemed from his body language and some of the things he said that he was not aware of the ramifications, end quote. That was Senator Chuck Schumer to the press after a meeting with Trump on Monday. And this is, I mean, Republicans are seeing other reports here and other media entities. GOP folks are seeing the polls and seeing the data that they are going to be harmed if they don't pass and extend these subsidies. And it's coming down the pike here.
There's an estimate that premiums will go up 75%.
I didn't see that one, but
well,
wow.
I think people maybe have lulled themselves into a sense of, oh, the Republicans are good and the Democrats are bad, if that's your sort of simplified view. And of course, it isn't always that way. And what you have to do is dig into these facts a little bit. But when they take these subsidies away, it's not 10%. It's going to be rather astronomical. And they're doing it deliberately because they want people to be off these programs. They want people to not be able to afford, even if you can keep your health insurance, you won't be able to afford it, which is kind of saying you don't want people to be healthy, which you can extend to you don't want people to be alive. That's what Austene was talking about. They would rather have us dead than give up a little 1% of their profit.
Yes.
But
I mean, there's not really profit through the Affordable Care Act.
Well, but there's money flowing it isn't flowing to the insurance companies. I'm sorry. You're the host. You go ahead and host.
Well, I was trying to find some data to back up your assertions. So KFF is saying that an average premium right now is $888 in 2024, and that would rise to $1,900 in 2026. So the average would double if these subsidies expire at the end of the year. The Congressional Budget Office said about 4 million people would basically just drop their health insurance altogether because they wouldn't be able to afford a doubling of their premium.
Or anything close to that. I mean, doubling. I mean, people will have trouble with 25%. You know what I mean? This is why we were calling this catastrophic. It will be catastrophic for people.
It's the thing that we saw with the big suckers bill earlier this year, and I know, Jim, that you've been talking about this a lot, is that the worst effects of it actually don't start until 2027 because the Republicans don't want to have to run on people actually living through the effects of the big suckers bill, losing SNAP benefits, losing Medicaid, rural hospitals shutting down. The problem in front of them, though, now is that if they do not continue the subsidies, then people are going to have to live under their policies starting January 1st. And this is the conundrum that they're in. They do not want these subsidies. They do not want the Affordable Care Act. They don't want people to have affordable health insurance. And so, and a lot of their voters are on the Affordable Care Act. I mean, I almost lost my mind. I had to stop looking at social media in November of last year because I saw so many people, Trump voters, suddenly going, wait a minute, what do you mean Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act? I thought those were two different things. I want to get rid of Obamacare. I need the ACA.
That's because propaganda convinces people of absolute BS. And so they run around believing BS. They vote based on BS. And then they go, oh, I didn't realize that was going to happen.
We keep seeing, it feels like we're always on the brink of a shutdown, and that gets really annoying. And that is a whole separate issue. So I understand there's shutdown fatigue. But I think that this is something, me personally, is that what is going to force the Republicans and MAGA, I'm sorry, there aren't Republicans anymore. There's MAGA. What is going to force MAGA to extend these premiums? Because we can't have our health insurance going up from $800 to $1,900. That's just not a thing that we can have. So that's it for us today. I'm sure that Richard Chu on WCPT, Chu's Views, next is going to pick up this conversation, as well as the Matt McNeil Show on AM 950 Radio is going to pick up this conversation. And stay tuned for Native Roots Radio after that. And then at 10 p.m. Central, step into the unknown with Greg Bakken on Ghost Box Radio. You can keep the conversation going with us on Blue Sky. We're at thegaleyshow.org on Blue Sky. You can stream our show also at youtube.com/@thegaleyshow, everywhere you get your podcast. And until tomorrow, keep it queer, America.
Keep it queer.